I want you guys to tell me your name, and tell me where you're from, and tell me what you do. Starting with Shay.
Well, I'm Shay, and I'm from Baltimore, technically. First half of my life was spent in New Jersey, in Bergen County, New Jersey. And I am a government employee, and I also own a consulting business where I help build, start, rebuild nonprofits, small businesses. I write grants proposals, anything to do with empowering everyone, not just people of color, but everyone, to get us back to a base and the foundation of what this country was established to do, and that was to build.
Okay, to build. TK.
I love that. Well, hello everybody. This is the sweetest voice, TK. I'm so happy to be back on air, so thank you, girl.
Yes.
You know this is my environment. But yes, I am TK. Takira Boston actually is what I'm trying to switch over to my real government.
Come on, real government.
But yes, I am a journalist. I'm a host, a personality. I am originally from Baltimore, Maryland. I love Baltimore, so let me be clear. I went to school in DC and did all my learning and all my growing and stuff in DC. I love DC, but Baltimore is home, so I'm back. I done graduated. Now I'm kind of freelancing and applying to a whole bunch of stations and things like that. So definitely you're gonna see some things, some big announcements coming real soon from me. Hopefully, prayerfully, we're gonna say that. But other than that, I just love communication. That's something that I feel like that's what our country should be founded on too. Yeah. Especially because there's so many different people, and communication is how we connect with one another. So I do all things communication, from video to hosting things where it brings people together, or even just reaching out to people and having those one-on-one conversations, because people like to text now and I like to talk. So
how you doing?
Yeah,
like to text and talk. Okay,
so I'm here.
So the difference between tonight and every other show is normally we just jump right into table talk. I really don't interview as much because our topics be a little lit. But today I wanted to get a little bit personal. I personally chose you guys because I wanted to know your story, because everyone has a different background. I wanted to know like your upbringing, you know, standards, who raised you, get to know a little bit more about your educational background, why did you go to school, things of that nature. So since I started off with Shay, I'm gonna start off with TK.
No,
I don't even.
I you thought I had some time.
No, you ain't had no time, sis.
Okay.
No, share what you want to share. Just tell me a little bit about your background and where you started and where you are now.
Sure. So I like to say I'm kind of like the best of both worlds, because I grew up with my mom and my grandmother and my aunt, but I, like as an only child, it was just me and my mother for real in the house. So I got everything I want. I didn't
no
really,
siblings.
No, not on my mom's side.
Okay, not on my mom's
side.
Got you.
Now on the other hand, my dad, I hope he's on live watching this. He is 9 of us on his side.
Oh.
And it's 7 boys and 2 girls.
Okay.
So that only child, like sensitive stuff, that didn't work and that's in DC. So my mom's side was from Baltimore, my dad's side is from DC.
Okay.
So I always went back and forth, most of the time summers and just weekends and stuff, back and forth, brothers and sisters, grandmothers, cousins out there.
Okay.
But mostly growing up is definitely was my mom, my grandma. Those were my support system. Let's see. After, I guess, so for high school, I went to Carver, the one in Towson. I gotta be clear, because you know it's the city.
So you went to Carver Tech?
I went to Carver Tech. Yeah.
What elementary school did you go to?
Well, I went to Church Lane Elementary. Well, you want me to go back to preschool?
Yeah, I want you to tell me it all. Okay.
So I went to Cantfield for preschool. I went to Church Lane Elementary. Then I went to Subbrook Magnet Middle.
Okay.
And that's where my dancing started when I was 2. Dance is a big part of my life as well. I started when I was 2. I was doing it at a private studio, Carol Chelsea Studio in Catonsville. Okay. And then when I went to Subbrook in middle school, I took it as we called it, I think, your prom back, like your major.
Your major.
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would dance there, and then I did the same thing at Carver Tech, dancing. And actually, my sophomore year, I had to pick an elective, and I'm like, Ma, I just want to do theater or something. I want to do something that's easy. And she's like, No, why don't you love the writing? You're good at writing, so why don't you try journalism? So I'm like, all right, fine, I'll get in the class. And speaking of that video, when I was in that class, it was all white people. And
really?
Yes, and it was the school newspaper. So they like, girl, what are you you doing here? Like, we don't want to hear anything you got to say about anything that's going on in school. We got it covered. But I started writing. I started like interviewing people. Okay. I started doing everything that I thought I wanted. My mother kind of put it in my mind, and then once I started doing it, I loved it. The teacher loved me, so I did that. I did yearbook, and that's where my journalism career kind of started.
So you didn't jump around like most people do.
You mean really, school-wise?
Yeah.
No.
Lucky you. That's not always the case. How was your grades in school?
Pretty good. I was my teachers wrote every year that I was a social butterfly, so it got me B's, B pluses, but I was like an A, B student pretty much. I actually didn't get my first C until I think 12th grade. 12th grade, and that was because I was showing off, talking too much, worrying about the wrong
talking
things.
Too much.
Yes, girl, talking too much. So,
did you have any difficulties in elementary or high school with your grades or anything?
Not with grades. Not even with my teachers. My teachers really loved me. I always loved school because I love people. So I was always the one that I just wanted to be in school. I wanted to socialize with people. I wanted to get to know new people. So my teachers really didn't have a problem with that unless I was talking when they trying to talk. And that was my only problem. But other than that, not really.
Hey, did you go to college right after you finished high school?
I sure did. I actually, the funny thing about college, when I was applying, I only applied to 3 schools, and that was Towson, College Park, and Howard. When I got accepted, College Park accepted me on a temporary, first of all, Towson denied me. Let's start with that one. College Park accepted me on a temporary, you come to our summer program and we might accept you. Howard, on the other hand, and I tell you, I sent my application so crazy. Like, I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll just apply here. Like, that honestly was my last pick. And I sent my essay one day, sent my transcript another, and everybody know how HBCUs are. It's not as organized. So the fact that they got all my stuff and sent me a letter right back saying, oh, we want you to come here, I was like, okay, let me go visit. And I went for Accepted Students Day. I heard the band one time, and I was so
fell in love. You was hooked. You were hooked.
I was sold. I loved it, and it was the best decision I could have ever made. So I'm so glad. Thank you, Towson. Thank you, College Park. All the people that said no, thank you, because Howard was really like the best years of my life, for real.
Oh. And you say you just went to your undergrad in Howard, right?
Yep. So I went through 4 years of undergrad at Howard. I did get out in 4 years by the grace of God, because I did everything. By the time my senior year came, I was like co-captain of my dance team. I was president of AKA.
Wait, you was president of AKA?
Yes, I was definitely. I was the president of my chapter, which was such an honor. And then I did so much. I rebought like Baltimore Club. We like revamped it and brought it back to campus because I love Baltimore.
You gotta listen. I love the whole experience. But what made you? If you don't mind me asking, I know you're not supposed to ask me any questions about that. But what made you become an AKA? Why AKA?
Oh no, you can ask. Thank you for asking.
Oh, thank you for asking.
Lord knows it's a hot topic right now. Honestly, when I was younger, I had a best friend whose grandmother was an AKA, and she used to take us to plays and cookouts and all kinds of community service things. So I already got it like an exposure to the ladies. Yeah. And then me and her together also joined a step team that was actually at Milford Mill, and we used to, because our bus used to take us there. That's how we found out about it. So we started stepping, and they would take us around to the different colleges. So we got to see all different types of sororities and fraternities. So I was exposed to everybody, but I was drawn to the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha. It was because they were always like, they were helpful. They communicated with me. They talked to me. They just literally were drawn to me, and I felt like, because like they're so much older than me and they on this status, that why would they speak to me? But they always did. Yeah. They were always nice. They were always friendly. And then stepping, like it was nothing like it to me. They just ladies, but they actually handle business, and I knew that that's what I was, so I wanted to be a part. And one thing about being in organizations, like no matter what you choose, it's about being yourself and elevating to your best self. So you can think that it's about flipping hair or Delta stomp and do what they do, but it's not about that. It's about being your best self and going from where you were to using this platform to inspire other people and serving and giving back. So that's what it was about.
What year did you become an AKA?
2013, spring 2013. So I'm actually celebrating my 5th year.
Okay.
Yes.
That's pretty amazing.
It went fast, man.
It went, do you think so?
Yes.
5 years just went by like that?
Girl, it went fast because I can't even believe, because I graduated in 2014. So that means I've been out of college already for 4 years. It don't feel like that. Yeah.
So you joined your junior year.
Yep.
Did it take too much of your time? Like, were you able to still handle your studies? Because I know you had to dedicate a lot of your time and yourself to be a part of that type of organization.
You know, the funny thing is people think that, like, some people struggle with it, but for me, it was my motivation, because I knew that if my mother saw me slacking in my grades because of this, she was going to pull me out of that. Even though I was in college, it always matters to me what my mother thought. And on top of that, she was the one helping me pay for it. So I couldn't slack. I couldn't slack. I actually got my best grades when I was like going through my process. I got my best grades. Yes, I got all A's and B's that time. So I had that. It's when you kind of busy and you know, okay, I got to do this from this amount of time, but I still got to go to class. I still got this. It makes you organize your life. And that's how I did it, and that's how I literally operate now, by just schedules. Like whatever I can write in and know that I got going on, I do it.
So what about so that was undergrad. You had a great experience undergrad. What about grad school?
So I graduated in 2014. I did come back home, which is like, I feel a little, I never know what kind of advice to give people about that, because I can't say, I kind of wish that I went straight through, because I came home and I went through a lot of like anxiety about being out of college and not having a job. So that made me do a lot of things that I just didn't like. Like I was working at so many companies that I was waking up dreading going to work, like literally. Yeah. And then I told my mother, like, I can't do this no more. Like, I gotta go. And I had a car payment. I was making good money. Everything that you would want. And I have no kids, nothing going on, that I could just be living life. But I wasn't happy. It wasn't what I wanted to do. So I literally quit. I quit. And mind you, in the meanwhile, I was still doing Leather Culture Radio. So doing that as my fun, but I'm not really, that wasn't really money. I was getting paid doing my 9 to 5. Yeah. It was like, this is not what I want to do. I want to do this radio media thing. So I quit and didn't care about anything. I applied to one grad school, which was American University, and I got in. And then I went and I got some scholarships that helped, and like I worked for the school and everything like that helped me to support myself as I went through. And I just did it, and now I'm happy. It's like that's another great decision I made, because I'm back in my field and doing what I love. And even now that I don't have that necessarily 9 to 5, like God provides. Things pop up. Like somebody always needs a videographer. Someone always needs a host. Someone always needs a coordinator. So wherever I can step in, I step in, and it's been working out.
That's pretty amazing. Did you have to take a GRE to get into it?
No, that's another reason I applied there. I didn't have to take anything.
So you just applied, just boom.
Now you did have to write an essay. You had to write an essay, and I think the essay is the major part, because they even said like sell yourself, like that's the part. So and I love writing, so I was ready for them to tell them how I was ready to take over the world and be the next Oprah and all this kind of stuff. So I think they felt that in my letter, and then they accepted me.
How many years? Well, it was only 3 years, right?
No, it was actually it was an accelerated program as well. So it was 18 months, a year and a half. Yep. And so I started in over the summer. I started in July, and then I graduated in July. So I started in July. Whatever the summer was. Basically, I took a summer, a fall, a spring, and another summer semester.
That's not bad.
Not at all. Not at all. But it was intense. It was certainly intense.
I bet it was. Well, at least you had the time to focus on it, though.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad to see you happy. It's all written all over your face, honey.
Thank you.
Yes. I got more questions about that in a second, but I'm going to jump right into Shay. Shay, tell me your life story.
Well, I was raised in New Jersey. Englewood, New Jersey, which I'm such a Jersey girl. I don't care how much of my family is in Maryland. I love Baltimore.
So you love cheesesteaks and stuff.
But I'm a Jersey girl.
Oh, okay.
So, my mom was married to her first husband. but she was from Baltimore.
Okay.
But we lived in Jersey, in between New Jersey and New York. She modeled. She worked for Woman's World magazine and Prentice Hall. So she was big on writing English. I started school at 3 years old at Montessori, and then I went into a private school environment. And
so you went to private school?
I did.
How was that?
Well, initially, I guess it was good. I got put out of the first private school in first grade.
You was fighting?
No. I had a grandmother that was from Baltimore, and she was like Medea. And so every morning I would talk to her about the goings on at this Catholic school in an elite neighborhood. Yeah. And I would tell her about my experiences with these little Catholic white kids.
Okay.
Italians mostly.
Okay.
And she took her time to teach me how to curse people out. and she made me repeat the cuss words back to her. Mind you, I was the only child too. And she taught me how to cuss them out. And so for each offense, I had the proper verbiage. So when the time came to re-enroll for the new school year, which would have been second grade, they told my mother I was better suited for public school. And so I ended up going to school in New Jersey, public school. At the time, Bergen County had the #1 public school system in the country. So it was still an advantage.
Okay.
So from 2nd to 5th, I went to a public school in Bergenfield, New Jersey, Herbert Hoover. And I'm actually, thank God for social media, I am in touch with some of those people. And we still share our wonderful experiences there. Okay. And then I went back to private school for middle school, which was a school in Inglewood. Same school that Brooke Shields attended. I grew up in a neighborhood where you may hear Wendy Williams referred to as Rappers Row. So it was a lot of celebrities there. That's where a lot of the celebrities moved to in Inglewood. So that's where I grew up until my mom separated from her first husband. And we moved back to Baltimore.
Okay.
Back to Baltimore for her. For me, I had only experienced Baltimore on a holiday level or if she wanted to come visit family. Okay. But I never lived here. So that was a shock for me because I was prepared to go to my next level of high school with my friends that I had grown with. Yeah. So I moved to Maryland, surprisingly, plus going through the divorce of my parents. And my mom's first husband was not my biological father, but he was my father because he raised me from 3 months. Okay. So that was a shock. So I get here, and I'm advised that the credits did not matriculate to Maryland. The New Jersey credits did not matriculate to Maryland, and that I was short English credits of all subjects. Right. My mom made me start typing my homework in the 5th grade. So I was devastated, and it was very trying. However, at the time, things were a lot different back then. And I'm about to definitely tell my age because we're talking about 1985. Okay? And so I was in middle school, so I'm 47.
You look good though, so who cares? Okay. How you doing?
The system was a little different, and I was able to get accepted into Western High School.
Okay. Well, Western's a really good school in Maryland.
Are we talking Western all girls or Western?
All girls.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Oh my goodness, fly away.
The first original sorority before you get green.
Oh, y'all better rep your high school.
I'll let y'all rock. Y'all have y'all moment.
I ain't no hater. I ain't no.
You should have sat in the middle.
But I went there and I was immediately embraced. I was going through a really hard time with leaving Jersey. I love New Jersey. I loved my friends. The people are different up north, and because this is not north. people need to understand that.
Yeah, I just learned that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just learned that the other day.
To come to an environment where I'm experiencing a different type of exposure. I went from being a Girl Scout, mountain climbing, having a horse,
selling cookies.
I'm selling cookies.
She said she had a horse though.
I know, right? That's better.
You know, mountain climbing in South Dakota and Wyoming and doing all of that, moving to Baltimore City.
That was a culture shock.
And so speaking French, and people like, girl, if you don't get out my face, like, being teased because I was a virgin.
Yeah.
You know, my mother making me play the flute and the violin. My piano teacher quit, so that didn't work out too well.
Oh, okay.
But her still saying, okay, this is what we're doing. I don't care what they're doing.
Yeah.
But this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so to go to Western, and I'll never forget, I was about 2 weeks late. So everyone had already started. Everyone had gone to Roland Park. I forgot the other middle schools. But coming in from another state, coming into an environment, and then I met my best friend.
Oh, wow.
And she, like, just opened her arms to me. I was trying to be mean. I was trying to be arrogant.
You were trying to be a Leo.
I was trying to be a Leo.
Yes.
And she just wouldn't stop talking to me. We were in class, and she was like, what's your name? How you spell that? Where you live? Where you from? And I'm like, oh my God, if she doesn't shut up. And she was really smart though.
Okay.
So we, and through all of our years in high school, we always shared the same classes. The only time we partied during throughout the day was she took Spanish, I took French.
Okay.
We were inseparable. But she helped me because she came from a very structured household where I did not.
Okay.
I was definitely blessed to have my mother and my grandmother, but I was the only child and the only grandchild because my mother was the only child.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I got to do whatever I wanted to do. And the only two house rules we had were you get straight A's, which I did, and you don't get pregnant. And I was okay with that too because I didn't want to have sex. All my friends that were having it didn't look too happy when they were finished. So I was like, y'all don't look like y'all had a good time. So I'm
just wait, okay.
So I had a friend who I still wanted to be a kid. I still wanted to enjoy life. So I still wanted to dance and listen to music and hang out without that whole boyfriend thing going on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I still attribute, although I had house freedoms, no curfew, no where you going, what you doing, but I had a friend who had that. And so I always say that God blessed me with that angel through high school, because if I ever looked like I was losing focus, she'd be like, girl, over here.
Okay.
Like, did you do your homework?
Yeah.
Did you, if I cut, and I did hook school, but she'd be like, here go our homework.
Yeah, make sure you were good.
To make sure I stayed in line.
Okay.
I had the freedoms of, to the point where my family didn't even know what college I was going to until August.
Wow.
Because I had applied for everything. I did everything. I had scholarships, so no one needed money. Mm-hmm. And my mother was like, "What school are you going to?" It was understood that you go to school. You're going to college.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I was a social butterfly. I went to everybody's prom. I went to everybody's dance. I went to tons of proms, tons of everything. But it was understood, no matter how much fun you have, no matter how much partying you do, you're going to college. Mm-hmm. And guess what? I'm not paying for it. You going full scholarship because you don't have nothing to do but learn. Mm-hmm. So that was the rule. And so I followed it, and I went to Bowie State for undergrad. Okay. And I had a ball.
I bet you did. Boy, is the party school.
Yes.
Another
party.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't hard because Western prepared me for it.
Okay.
Our caseload in high school was so heavy that when I went to college, I was like, that's it? Mm-hmm. I could write, I could do everything. I was like, I'm done. I'm knocking this out. I knocked like half of my semesters out on I would just go down the syllabus and do my work.
I wish.
I went to college when there was no internet. There were no cell phones. We had to either get a cell phone in your room, and there was no free long distance, no unlimited calls. So Bowie State was considered long distance from anywhere outside of Bowie. I had a pager that I had to.
Was it purple?
It was pink.
Oh, she was popping.
If you needed a book, you had to go to the library and look at the library card to see who had the book, and then try to find them on campus manually, because there was no internet, there was no texting somebody.
Yeah.
There was none of that.
Yeah.
So most people just had word processors. We didn't have. There was no computers.
Right.
We had word processors where we typed our papers. And so,
what is a word processor? Forgive me,
processor, girl.
I thought it was a. I thought it was. You had a typewriter. I didn't even know you had a word processor.
Typewriter. Okay.
It was a cross. It was almost a computer.
Okay.
So you type your words came. You could pick a font. You could and it stored a little bit of information. It had like a little screen that was about this big, and it had a little box. So you really had to work. You really had to work hard. And I won't speak too heavily into it, but I did pledge during a hazing period.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'll say that. So I definitely appreciate the work that went into it.
Yeah.
Okay. And being able to still keep my grades, keep my scholarship.
Yeah.
And then my sophomore year, I got pregnant with my firstborn. I had 4 children. And my sophomore year, I got pregnant. And I have him to thank for my first degree. Because I was told by a family member that I would never graduate and I would never be anything if I had him.
Wow.
And look at you.
And I had people offering me $500 here, $700 there. What we got to do for you to abort this baby? And I was like, no, I'm going to have him. And I had friends in college, and we scheduled our classes so that I could pass him around so that he went to school with me. And I did it.
You did it. Come on.
I know that's right.
Come on, she did it.
And then I went to Morgan. And I did it again. And got pregnant again.
So you just pregnant
again.
Did it again.
I had 3 boys and a girl.
Oh.
And I have to say, and I was determined to go to a HBCU. So when we saw that video and I was speaking to the disparities with the Caucasian,
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to jump into that.
American,
yeah.
The teaching thing, I didn't have an issue.
Because
you went, because
I'm going HBCU. In high school, I remember I had a French teacher, and one day I got so mad with her. I said, why are you so hard on me? Like, I do my work, I do this, why are you always calling on me? I had a little attitude about it, and she pulled me out, and she was African American, and she said, because they're going to be harder on you.
Facts.
And she pointed to the white girl, she said, they ain't going to be hard on her.
Okay.
She said, so I need you to know that.
Okay.
Because they're going to be hard on you.
Yeah.
And I always remembered that. And I remember my mother always telling me to be able to write your own ticket.
Okay.
Be able to do whatever you want to do, how you want to do it. My biological father never worked for a person a day in his life. Never. And it stuck.
Were you close to him?
Extremely.
Okay.
Extremely. I breathe him.
Okay.
Early childhood, he was incarcerated.
Oh, okay.
He was an artist, and he never wanted me to write a jail, and I'm going to say the N-word, so don't be offended. He never wanted me to write a jail letter to a nigga. Never.
Oh, this is a free-spirited place. You say what you want, okay?
What he did to stay in contact with me is he would write a cartoon, and it would be, I'll give you an example. It might be a bird in a tree and a chipmunk on the ground. And he'd be the chipmunk, and he'd write in the bubble what he wanted to know, what was going on with me.
Oh.
And he taught me how to draw from jail. Because then I had to draw the responses and animals or whatever he had created, whatever the subject was.
Okay.
And I would write the bubble back, and I would start drawing freehand.
Okay.
So we were extremely close until the day he passed.
Wow.
In 2015, we were extremely.
Oh, that was recent. I remember it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It was recent. Yeah. So from both of your experiences, like y'all, I feel like y'all paved the way through. Y'all had people telling you guys like education. Do you think that if you did not have anyone to install that in you, you would be where you are?
I think so.
You think so?
I find myself not really like tooting my own horn too much. I don't never really give myself a little pat on the back. But to be honest, I always knew that I wanted to be something. So school was it. Like school was that. If I didn't know what, I knew that in school I was going to figure it out. So I was going to get through it. I was going to do it. Now grad school, I didn't know I was going to do that. That just happened. But as far as going through high school, going to college, I always from a child just did it. And I can't say that because, you know, my mom, she talked about it, but it wasn't like drilled. It wasn't like you have to do anything. But it just, I knew she expected for me to chase my dreams and expected for me to be smart. So I went to school.
Okay.
I definitely know that I would still be here.
Okay.
I know that I would still have my business. I can say that I don't have many clients that have college degrees, but I have clients that are multimillionaires. Okay? It ain't about the degree. I don't tell people I have degrees. When I have friends that just recently, girl, I didn't know. I didn't know you had that certification. I didn't know you had that degree. I didn't know that because it's not important. It does not make me. It just proves a point.
And what point is that?
The point is that we can do it.
Yeah, you can make it through a process.
We can do it. But that the degree to me means nothing. It's for people to say, oh, like that little fake hand clap that happened.
Just an accomplishment.
Just an accomplishment. I never went to a graduation. I don't care. I don't care who's giving me the paper. Mail me my paper.
You don't need to get your paper there anyway.
I got my information. Yeah, just mail it to me. Or I'll pick it up. But it's not important to me. That's not what's important. My bag is.
Yeah, the bag is always important now. But do you think that having an education, like, puts you in a better position than most people? I just personally think that it does. Like
What people?
All people. And let me say my position. First of all, we already know from watching the video that we have a proof a point from people that's not our color. But I feel that now we have to prove it to people that are our color. And I'm gonna tell you in different ways why I feel that way. One, it's not a lot of African Americans now that are educated. They don't think they can do it. They don't think they're smart enough because they feel belittled from society and from the world. So you don't have that. So I think that we're proving to them that you can do it, not even just because you're black. Like, you can just do it. You can do anything you put your mind to. And then you have the people that are educated and have all these degrees or have the careers that think they're better or think that no one else can do what they've done. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have people that are in settings, they're probably like doctors, they're probably like in a political setting that look down or forgot where they came from, and it's like, well, let me prove to you that I can do the same thing. So I think it's a different type of proving. And you're just showing other people from different cultures, like, you're not the only intelligent one. Like, honestly, you're not even that smart. You just have different resources than I do. Like, we understand what I'm saying? So I feel like we have to prove to everybody that I am just as good as you.
I personally don't care what people think, and if they think they're better than me, that's their error and their problem. I find joy in accomplishing degrees and educating myself because it's effortless for me. I don't have to study. Give me the information, I read it, I got it.
Okay.
And it's effortless. That's my personal joy.
Yeah.
And I love getting the information because I love giving it.
Yeah.
You know, I love sharing. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love giving the information. I love sharing and giving wisdom, not just not just the information from a book, but how to apply it to life. Because when I die, none of that stuff is gonna matter. And so I don't care what people think. I don't care if you like me, and I don't care if you don't. I don't care if you think you're smarter than me, because I know what I know.
Okay.
Everyone is smarter than me in an area.
Okay.
You may have never even finished middle school. I've come across people who don't even have an 8th grade education. My grandmother dropped out of high school the 11th grade year and was very expensive. A real estate mogul, was one of the first African American women to purchase a home in Baltimore City when women were not allowed to get, African American women weren't allowed to get a loan. And she did it without a high school diploma. So it doesn't matter what you think. I know what I know.
I feel that same way because I feel like you said, it's your personal accomplishment. You do what you do for yourself, your own, I did that. But I can't say that I didn't get opportunities because of my schooling and because of the schools I went to. For example, my first internship was at Fox 5. That's like unheard of in DC. It's Fox in DC. So they're not really, they had internships, but they weren't, when it came to the newsroom, they were looking for people that were either in their senior years, graduating, or grad students. They were looking for people that's basically ready to come work. So I got it. And the way I got it is because I was at Howard. Because I knew somebody who I said, hey, big sister, I'm looking for an internship. What can you do? She reached out to her godmother, who happened to be the internship coordinator. And she said, oh, okay, you want an internship? Got it like that. So although it was not easy when I got there, and she made me work even harder, especially because, oh, you coming in because you know me, you gonna work. But it put me my foot in the door that I might not have had the same opportunity if I wasn't in that space. And even from like American University, I had a lot of struggles on campus because I was commuting, and it was a lot of racism. That's one thing that attracted me to the school, because I felt like let me go show y'all that I can do this here at this racist school. But it was hard. It was culturally hard. And even still, like being now a part of the alumni group, that on my resume, people like, oh, you went to American? Like, oh, let me connect you with this. And it got me different connections and different people. So it's like, while all this is for me personally, I can't say that I don't recognize that people look for those things.
They do.
Employers look for those things.
They do.
So I think education puts you in a room, but you gotta keep yourself there, and you don't have to go that way, because like you said, there are people that don't go to school. So I feel like you gotta know what you want for you, and go all the way for it. And if that means not school, I read this post the other day that was like, college isn't for everybody, but neither is rapping. That's so true. Like you might not need to go to school, but if you gotta focus on your lane and really go ham in it, and that's just what it is.
I just think that I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you guys. I didn't have the same path as you did growing up. I just thought school, I had to go to school because I was from the hood, and it was like, well, what else I'm going to do? I'm gonna sell drugs, or I'm gonna go to school. Sorry, probably TMI, but who cares? I didn't have no one telling me go to school, you should do it. I think I would be so much further in life if I did. So I love to hear people say that they would still be here. I think that you honestly would. It probably would have been delayed, because I feel like when you don't have no type, not even just one person in your corner telling you go ahead, it's harder for you to find yourself. It's harder for you to find a way. It's harder for you to be like, I should do it. And I don't think that people just need a lot of guidance. I think it's just somebody saying, you're not going to be nothing in life if you don't go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never even got that. It was always me trying to figure everything out on my own. But then when I finally fully found myself, I was like, what are you doing? What do you want? What do you want? I never was surrounded by anyone to say, what do you want? Like, I love y'all story, because I got a better understanding on your foundation. Like, y'all had a solid foundation. Like, you had someone there. You were not from, Jesus, Lord have mercy, Green Mountain 27th. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you were from New Jersey. You were from, the county. You had the privilege of going to a private school. You had both of you had the privilege of going to an HBCU, but y'all always had that person to say you should go. You know, like I love it. Like I think it's very amazing. Like when you already have children, so you already helping them. Then like when you have children, like it'll be easier. Like I was watching some movie the other day. I'm crazy. I just be watching movies and crying, right?
Girl, me
so
too.
I was watching this movie the other day. Like I can't even remember. I was like a small clip before I fell asleep, and it was talking about basically how women aren't enough. Like it was like some Lifetime movie. I'm so upset because I really could not figure out exactly why I was drinking wine and Henny. Sorry, so I don't remember.
That's why you was crying.
I forgot.
Yes. And she woke up with a headache.
Like, good Lord. Like, I wonder what that movie was called. Oh. It just made me think. I was like, I want to do a segment on it because I feel like being black in America is already hard. But I feel like being a black woman and educated is so hard.
That is extremely hard.
I think it's so hard. Like, it's like, I don't, like, Shay, I'm saying this because I feel like you've been through so much, and because of your age, you're wise. Like you already been through, caring and not caring. So you're a whole lot of women. So it's like I don't care what people think, but we're not there yet, and there's not a lot of ladies that's there yet. Like you and Nick, like when I first met Nikki, I was scared of her, but y'all a whole lot of women. Like I'm just saying, I was scared of her. Oh my god,
that's the Western thing.
It was, but it's like, but I feel like. What I've learned, you can't listen. I know, like I'm in there though. Come on, energy.
When I first met you, I told you you're not ready.
I remember she was so honest with me, and I, you know what, and I can take criticism. You're not ready. I was like, okay, but I took it. Yeah, like, but
she wanted to give me her money and hire me as a consultant.
And you're like, ready, and I was like,
she said that because some people take your money,
but I appreciate it. But I appreciate it.
How much it is?
I was broken, guys. I was broken. I was lost. I just knew I wanted to be something, and I didn't have nobody telling me. Like I can honestly say that Shay helped me a lot during my transition now. Cause she'd be like, no, that's not for you. Try again. That's not good. And I'm like, not this one. All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna call you back later. So I'll take some time and be like, let me just really think about this. But I needed that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't start getting the push that I needed until I got older.
And that comes with wisdom.
That's what I said, sis.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's wisdom. But no matter how old you are, being a black educated woman, powerful, independent, is difficult. Like,
and it's a threat.
You have a wife who understands that.
Yeah.
But it's not always easy to find someone who understands the grind.
Yeah.
That understands and is not intimidated by your wisdom, your knowledge, your education. So a lot of times you end up, and I've had this discussion with a lot of my friends who, most of my friends are very successful, but it has taken time for them to get to the level of relationship in their social groups and romantically, where it's okay, and you don't have to dummy yourself down.
Yeah,
because people are looking at you, and I'm talking about our peers. I'm not talking about the white folks and people who are outside of the union of color. I'm talking about our peers. Yeah, saying, "Oh, you talking white, or you bougie?"
Yeah,
I hate when somebody. 10 times.
What is talking white?
I'm not.
I had to learn that. I was one of them ignorant. I was ignorant, guys. I was.
Like, you have no idea how raw it can get.
Yeah.
But that does. I have to show that to you because again, I don't care what you think.
That's bougie.
Right, but don't get it twisted.
How you doing?
Because please don't misunderstand that this is not. Don't let it fool you.
You know, mine's. I kind of took pressure the opposite way, because like my mom and my grandma, although they always said do what you want to do and you can be this, I knew that I wanted to like be somebody. I knew I wanted to do something different. I didn't just want to have a regular 9-to-5. I always knew I was a creative person, so I could never imagine myself just in like a cubicle or something like that. So I knew that I had to do whatever to kind of show everybody like, all right, I can do what you need me to do, but I'ma still do it in my own way. I'ma still go my own path. And it took my mother saying to me like, you just existing and you taking care of yourself is enough. Like, that's enough. You don't have to do anything else. And some people might have relaxed with that, but me, that made me go even harder, because it's like, all right, I don't have to do this. I don't have to. My mother already okay with me. She checked me off. I'm good. So if I'm good by her standards, who else gonna say anything? Like, who else? It doesn't matter. So I literally started doing things my way and how I wanted to do it, and that's when I really started to figure out my own path, which happened to still be going to school, getting degrees, doing all that stuff. And like you said about like relationships, I mean, when I tell you I had to let go a whole lot of friends, a whole lot of friends I had to let go. And I was fortunate enough to meet my boyfriend right before I started grad school, and by the grace of God, he helped me through, because my commute to grad school was 2.5 hours to get there, 2.5 hours back, on the train, on the buses, on all kinds of stuff. And it was days I would call him like, babe, this man is so racist. He talking crazy to me. Like, I hate this school. I don't want to come back. And he like, just calm down. Yeah. Just, you there for a reason. You got to do what you got to do. Focus. Exactly. And I was blessed to have that. But I'm telling you, a lot of times I came back home and I was selling myself short, for real, because I didn't want to be that girl that's, oh, she went to school, so now she bougie. Now she talk like this. Now, so I started dealing with people that were like, I don't want to say less than me, because I don't think I'm better than anybody, but you have standards. Yeah. And there's men who they just not there. They're not there. Exactly. Yes. So you start to accept just anything, and I'm like, I can't do that no more either.
What's wrong with me?
Exactly. And a lot of times people try to set you up also. They think that you're supposed to be with this type, especially because I'm in a sorority, so they try to set me up with Kappas. They try to set me up with it. Does not work. I'm like, I need a real man that's serious about me, and also understands that I got to do what I got to do while we in this relationship. And that's why I'm blessed to have him, because it worked out. Our relationship never got in the way of what I was doing, and that's how I knew it was right.
And you have to have that. You have to have someone that understands late nights, early mornings, days, just they grind.
Now, don't get me wrong, he used to lay me out with staying at school to like 2 in the morning just because he was worried about me driving home. Exactly.
Not because you were doing
exactly.
Right. And then you have those people that also, and I've encountered this, try to prove that you are not all that. So they try to break you.
Yep. You get that all the time, man.
You have relationships romantic relationships where they try to break you. Mentally, I've experienced it physically, all of that. So because they try to blow you, but you don't understand what I have is in me.
Exactly.
So no matter what you do to me, no, you're not all that. Because to try to belittle anyone and hurt them speaks to who you are. It doesn't speak to who I am. So if you have anything bad to say about me, if you have anything bad to do, that thought came up in your head.
Absolutely.
So that means there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. So you have to self-evaluate that, and then when someone is attacking you, you have to remember that there's something wrong with them. So before you retaliate with an attack,
think of where that came from.
You gotta think of where they are. There's something going on with them, and you still have to have that love walk. You don't have to stay in their situation, that friendship. You don't have to stay there, but you have to have that love walk. You can walk away and pray for me.
How you doing? I'm gonna pray for you, baby.
I'm a pro at praying for people and walking away.
Go away, okay?
Yep.
Because I'm not only wise enough, I got education to know that this is going to be painful. The psychiatry, because we all took psychology, because we got degrees. So one-on-one says this ain't normal. If you never learned it, if we had the perfect upbringing and we never saw pain coming up in our household, psychology says this is not normal behavior. Okay, so let's not be so spiritual that we don't have to have enough sense to walk away from it. But that doesn't mean that we don't have to still love that person. But away from them.
Away from them. Do you think those type of people, from your experience, from both of you experience, do you think it's because they did not have the experience of going away to school, or do you think that people were just crazy? Like, I don't know how to say, like,
girl.
Right. You have crazy people that went away to school who do hurtful things. So the school piece you have people that were not exposed, like you said. You were blessed to learn that you needed to be somewhere and that you needed to be educated. You had that blessing. Not everyone has that exposure. I remember having a conversation with someone, and I told him, and I said, we're going to be millionaires. We can do this. And he said, man, I'm not from where you're from. I don't understand that. So I'm going to do what I do. And I'm like, deuces, y'all.
Gotta go.
Do what you do then, because that's not growth.
That's not growth.
We don't stay here forever.
We don't.
If you're doing the same thing this year that you were doing last year, I have to leave you there.
Yeah.
But, and I think some people are just crazy. I think that some people, because school dress it up real nice. They'll learn how to
master it.
Yes. They learn how to feel they so enlightened, but they still insulting you, but they think they enlightened. So it just dresses it up. But you find out when people are either going through situations, or when life is like after college, when people don't have jobs. That's when you find out who they really are. Like, are you going to still push? Are you still going to work? Or are you going to sit around trying to talk me out of my next move because you don't know what yours is?
Look how many homeless people you have that are doctors. You've got homeless people with PhDs.
Yeah, I seen it. It was an article that was talking about that.
So,
like, it really was.
There's a fine line between genius and insanity.
Yeah.
And school definitely can cover it up. You have lifetime students.
Yep.
You've got people that just go to school. You've got people that go to school just to get their refund check. And they live off of that refund check.
Listen, I can't wait for my refund check, but I'm not going to live off of it.
You better be real.
They actually live in that little vibe. And they 70 years old, and they like, they're like enrolling some classes.
Yeah.
They got a doctorate in knitting. I'm a lab. Make some cotton.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
And I'm true. I'm sitting here like, so when I
mean, the refund check is nice. It's nice.
Because that's how I really could quit a job and still like, and eat. Exactly. It's okay, but you know, it's still like in between time. We gotta wait for the next one when the next semester starts. So you got it teach you to budget too.
I can't wait. I had nothing to do, but I just can't wait. Thank God I still have a job, because if not, I'd be like, when month is it again? But it's just nice to have it. Like, ooh, I could take a class this semester. Ooh, give me my money. And then I'll be sad 6 months after I graduate and be like, give me my money.
Well, I never took a student loan out. I always had scholarships.
Blessed.
But then, so with the scholarships and the grants, I still got a refund check.
Oh, trust me, I know all about that.
The extra.
It's so hard.
I only blew it my first year. Me and my roommate went to Potomac Mills and had a crazy dumb just.
Oh yeah, because Potomac Mills is right by boy. Yeah.
And then after that, I'm like, okay, we gotta be responsible.
I
But I only did it once. I don't blow money. So it was like, okay, this is money, and I'm just gonna put it up.
Yeah.
You know, and back then, again, I didn't have the benefits of the web, so thank God, because I probably would have went shopping
online. Oh my
goodness, crazy! Let me get this shoe. Let me get that shoe.
I would have been doing some different things.
Do you think even from just that experience, during your life experience into where you are now, do you say, or could you say that you had a lot of obstacles? Did you face a lot of obstacles to get to where you are now, that will hinder you in any type of way from stopping you from getting your education?
Everything, and I tell my children this, any obstacle I have ever experienced was self-inflicted.
Okay.
I was same story.
Because I had everything mapped out.
Okay.
So my choice is going back to putting yourself in environments that were not for me.
Okay.
Okay. Not saying I hadn't been exposed to them.
Yeah.
And not everyone in my family is perfect or anything. But finding a comfort zone so that I can just lay back a little bit. Okay. But the choices that I've made created obstacles.
Okay.
But nothing I couldn't shake off.
Okay.
Because you are who you are before you get here.
That is true. You just experience it. Just go through that.
It's all up to you how you get to the end. You're gonna get to the end. The goal is for me personally, my goal is always gonna happen. I may take the long way around, but I'm still gonna get to that goal. It doesn't matter. But what obstacles? So I've never had an obstacle. Now I got shot after being a college graduate, a business owner, you know, at the time a married woman. Yeah, I had an obstacle. But it was nothing to get back up on my feet. Okay. So the obstacles, they're nothing. They make you stronger. They make you wiser. Thank God. And I'm a mother. You know, so being a single mom, I mean, my kids, sometimes I don't have to say anything to them. They just have watched my experiences. My daughter started saying she was going to University of Southern California in the 6th grade. She's in the 10th grade. She's still saying, I'm going to USC. And
that's a good school. That's a really good school.
I have to walk in her room sometimes and ask her, is the cable broke in your room? Is the TV off? What's wrong? Is your TV broken? Did you do something? What's going on? And she's studying.
Wow.
But because she watched me.
Okay.
You know, and
that's really good.
And my family said when I had my children, they're gonna watch everything you do. So be careful what you do.
I think that is completely right. Like, I really do think that you really have to watch everything you do in front of anybody that's watching you or your children, because they pick up on it.
Sponges.
Yes, literally like sponges. Oh, yeah, totally.
See, I can say that my obstacles were I guess self-inflicted is not necessarily the right word. I'm gonna just say they were mental, because like I said before, it took my mother saying like, chill out, you okay? But I was putting that pressure on myself. So I was depressed. I had anxiety. Like, I mean, when I got out of school, I just could not believe that I went to Howard University and I'm going back to Baltimore. That's truly how I felt. And that was my mind being so small-minded, like being closed-minded, thinking that, oh, it's supposed to happen. Everything's supposed to happen the way you think it's supposed to happen. Something's supposed to be next. You're supposed to get a job. So when I came home and I didn't have one, it was like, okay, now what? Then I got a job at Nordstrom and it was fun, but okay, this is not what I just paid all that money to come here and do. Yeah. So I went through about a year and a half to 2 years, honestly, of like depression and anxiety, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I thought it was maybe the people, so I separated from the people. But then I started to isolate myself so much that the things that I loved to do, I wasn't doing anymore. Even when I started with Love the Culture Radio, I loved it, but I was still going through those things. So it would be events that we were hosting, and I'm like, I'm gonna just make a little excuse because it's too many people. I just don't feel like I don't want to be in that space. Or it'll be times that I'm going through feelings on air, but I have to like put on a face. Yeah. And it was all because I was holding this pressure over myself that I can't be that girl that don't make it. I can't. I gotta do something. And that was driving me crazy. Like, it literally was driving me crazy. And it took my mother saying what she said. It took me, honestly, like I kind of fell back from my faith. I never stopped believing in God, but I stopped going to church. I stopped dancing on the dance bench. I stopped doing the things that I was basically, I found what I loved. Yeah. And things started happening to me. Like, people were coming into my life that were just terrible, or I would find myself in verbally and mentally abusive relationships, or even to the point where there were times that I was so like anxious. It happened around the corner from here. I was so anxious and so focused on everything I had to do. I ran the red light and somebody smashed into the side of me. Oh my God. I'm telling you, girl, and to this day I was just fussing at my boyfriend in the car like, please slow down, because it literally, I was anxiety, and my mother had to say, like, you're going to kill yourself trying to live this perfect life or trying to get somewhere so fast. Like, calm down. Life is not it's a long journey, but it's not a race. It's not a sprint. It's none of that. Like, it's day by day, and like you said, it's already written. So I can sit here and think that, oh, I'm not doing nothing today, so I'm not advancing myself. But God already knew I was going to rest today. He already knew I needed some sleep. Like, so I had to get out of that trying to prove myself to the world and just do what I like to do. And once I started writing again, and I started praying again, and I started going to church again,
it does a lot.
I'm telling you,
it does a lot.
It felt like things were just being released. I can just breathe again, and I can make decisions like, okay, well, I am going to quit my job, and I am going to go jump in school, and I am going to do what I'm going to do. And it worked out. It's working out. I never know what's next. I don't know where my next check coming from, where the next job coming from, but it always works out. And I can't say enough that when I finally released that pressure, that unnecessary pressure, and just did what I wanted to do and trusted God, life got so much better, so much brighter.
That's something, TK. I know I've experienced. I do this all the time. It's not good, but I do it. I do work. Okay. My choice, I work for the government, but I have an attitude, and I always have had this attitude. Fire me.
So you get unemployment?
No.
Girl, that's what I was thinking.
No, I don't need this. I don't have to be here.
Right.
I'm okay. That attitude you get when you have that degree.
And that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's why I say black queens with brains. It's like, we just got to be real with ourselves and anyone else. That degree is a ticket to everything. So it's like, yeah, we don't really have to prove anything to everybody else, but you prove to yourself that, guess what? Like you said, that attitude, fire me. Guess what? Let me go look at my bag real fast and what degrees I have.
Actually, I probably got more than you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, I feel that college is not only just a piece of paper, and not especially for black women. I think that it's our ticket in life for ourselves, that I can do anything I want to do. I don't even have to get a job in my field, but guess what? This piece of paper is going to help me. Like, it's I wish that we had a lot more, not even just women, but young men that actually had the guidance to actually see that you can do it. Like, I just feel like the world just falling apart from social media. We see this person going on this trip. We see that person going on that trip. Everybody, like, you don't even make no money. You probably make like $35,000 a year.
A lat check, a levy check, and you live in such a name.
Come on, your rent's 50 cents. Like, don't even.
I mean, get it how you live it, because I don't know, I'm
not hating. What I'm saying is people get caught up in that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a highlight reel. Instagram is a highlight reel. People are not posting their days when they're down, or when their hair not done, or when they got they only posting those trips and stuff like that. So that's why you literally cannot, I tell people all the time, you cannot compare yourself to other people, because it will steal your joy, and then it's still not going to get you any further. It's a waste of time. Like, and you also, you don't know their story. You don't know that your rent, like you said, your rent might be $900 and their rent is $5. So we're not the same. Like,
not the same.
We're not the same.
We are not the same.
You just can't watch other people. You got to do your own thing.
I wish that people actually realize that. Dang, it's almost time to wrap up. Jeez, we was having so much fun. Before we wrap up, since the topic is black queens with brains, what advice, I'm gonna ask you two questions. What advice would you give to a young lady that can't find their way?
You go first.
Want to go first? I don't want to sound cliche, and I don't want to push any specific religion on anybody, but I charge everybody to be spiritually connected and find God. Whomever that may be to you, understand that life now is so much small. It's all these things that you think are such a big deal are just not a big deal for your eternal life. And you can't sit here and live by the standards of the world when there are things bigger than you that you'll never understand, that we'll all never understand. So I say, find your spirit, your God. Get into that. That way you can find yourself. That way you can have a voice and something that tells you to keep going, something that tells you to do what it is inside of you. Because I'm telling you, I love to dance, so I love to write, I love all those different things, but I didn't know which way I was going or which way I needed to go until I started talking to God, until I really got back and listened. And that was, okay, go ahead and try that, go ahead and be here. You I didn't put fear in you. Why are you scared to go sit in the room with them? Why you're like, it was those things and really listening that got me on the right path. So I say it starts with yourself. It starts with your soul, and it starts with finding God, whomever that may be, and praying and really surrendering, and that's when you find your purpose. That's how I did it. And I also say, like I said about competing, you cannot worry about anybody else. There is room enough for everybody in this world. It does not matter. I saw another thing on Instagram. Sometimes social media can be a good thing sometimes, but it was like, if you go down the bread aisle, there's 1,500 brands of bread, but everybody buys a different bread. Somebody gets the Nature's Own, someone gets the potato bread, but somebody could have been like, oh, don't make that bread because it's $1 million. No, they still went and made their brand and made their mark. So you can't worry about somebody else is doing that, so I shouldn't do it. No, you got to do what's in your heart and what you find, and you're going to find that only by listening to God.
Live. What you had to say, Shay?
Well, in agreement with who... First of all, you have to spiritually know who you serve. So it doesn't, there is a God. There's one God.
Amen.
How you serve him is your choice. However, know him. Understand what you don't like.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to be deep about that. You know what you don't like. So just because Susie made $1 million last year of doing this, does not mean that's what you need to be doing, because that was her passion. Follow your heart, your passion, but get away from all of the activity around you that is superficial. Okay. So get away from the fluff and the people that are constantly telling you, yes, you can do it, when sometimes it's not going to work for you. So stay away from yes people that are always saying yes to you, people that are always in agreement with you, because if you succeed, they won't get a piece of your cake. Right?
So a lot of people like that. Be
around people that try to teach you and influence you, and try, who can bring out the best in you. So only surround yourself around that positivity. And you know what wrong feels like. We all know what wrong feels like. So when you know it's wrong, get away from it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the first time, and when it doesn't feel right, if you can't sleep at night, then it's something wrong.
Yep.
Okay.
Because we're supposed to get rest. So if it's something that when you wake up in the morning or through the course of your day, there's something that's on your mind, and it keeps coming back, and it's not wrong, then that's where your heart is.
Okay.
And those people, those loved ones, those people that are constantly on your mind in a positive note, not the wrong note, not the people that make you angry when you think about them or irritate you. Those are the people you draw closer to. And you learn. You use your elders. You use your people who are in your space to have the wisdom and the experience.
Yeah.
And you say, hey, what do you think about this? Not people that are going to hate on you or pray against you. Don't share your information with everyone. Do not share your next move. Keep it to yourself.
Yes. Jesus.
By the time you share that next move, you should be on the next one.
Absolutely.
The announcement should have been, oh yeah, the grand opening is next week.
Yeah.
Because everybody not praying for the. You tell somebody to pray for you, they're not necessarily praying for your good thing.
They're praying against
exactly.
You. So the point is, you pray because I don't need you to pray for me. It's helpful that you pray for me, but I can pray for myself. And I can talk to God myself. I don't need a middleman. You know, that's what happened with the Catholic Church. You use a middleman. Okay.
How you doing?
I don't need a middleman to get to God.
Exactly.
Okay. So we get to him, and he's going to talk. You just gotta listen.
Absolutely.
And it's going to feel right. It feels right. It's going to give you goosebumps. It's going to make you cry. It's going to be. You're going to wake up and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm thinking about this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't sleep. I gotta write it down.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so much in you till it's not gonna be a doubt in your mind that person We just were talking about you and your wife, your career. It's not going to be a doubt in your mind that it's for you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think that was, first of all, I don't even have to answer my second question because y'all already answered it because thank y'all. Well, before you leave, guys, can you please tell everyone where they can find you on social media?
Sure. Everybody can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, everything else as Told by TK. I'm gonna spell it just in case.
Please spell it.
ASTOLDBYTK. Just like as told by Ginger, but it's better as told by TK.
Okay.
Yeah, girl.
My Instagram is _EC Inc. _ECINC, which stands for Impression Consulting Incorporated. That's the name of my company.
Yes.
Y'all know my social media, but I'm gonna tell y'all again. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at Leara, LEAIRRA, and my Facebook as Leara Chambers.
You so lucky to get your name as your Instagram. How did you do that?
I just typed it in.
You must have been one of like the first people to sign up.
No, it's actually 1,000 of us.
Oh,
spelled the same way.
But that's what I'm saying. The fact that you could just get your name in it and you didn't, because I tried to put just Takira and you wouldn't believe it. Like, no,
it's a lot of Takiras. I don't have time. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put Chocolate Drop 89.
Who is that?
You go look.
She said I couldn't put Chocolate 89.
I didn't want to do Chocolate Drop 89. Just do Leara because I was okay with it.
Yeah.
But it was a pleasure seeing you guys. Thank you for coming on the show. This is amazing. I hope that some people got some inspiration and they actually see the importance of education.
Absolutely.
That is the end of Radical Discussions.
Thank you.
Bye.